Welcome to Bryan High School for NWOAL basketball action. Boys basketball tonight. Patrick Henry in town to face the Bryan Golden Bears. Brian Arnold and Tim Meister here with you from Bryan. Call the action tonight. Bryan Golden Bears come in at 4-7. Having defeated Delta last week in the league, 1-0 in the league. Patrick Henry comes in at 9-3, lost to Evergreen last Friday. And Coach Heber's squad's dealing with some adversity here in the young season. Best player, arguably the best player, Reed Krieger, is sidelined with a foot injury right now. His younger brother, TJ Krieger, 6'5" freshman, had just started to come on for the Patriots and get some good minutes. He's out for the season with a lower leg injury. So Coach Heber, outside of his son Mac, is trying to find some offense in other places.
Yeah, and he's gotten a little bit of scoring out of Rosebrook, who's done a nice job of stepping up. I think in Mac Heber, we're going to see a kid who's just so versatile. He can play all 5 spots. In fact, you'll see him play all 5 spots tonight because they have to move him around. From the time of that injury to the Krieger kids, Mac Heber has had 5 or 6 straight games where he scored between 25 and 30. He knows he's had to pick up the offense. So for the Bryan Golden Bears tonight, I think he has to be a focal point of their defense. They have to find some different ways to keep him from having a big game.
6'6" athlete, co-player of the year last year in the league. He's going to Ohio State to pitch in the spring. So you know he's an athlete. You know he's going to be able to figure out his way around a ball game no matter what you're playing. Golden Bears are going to have to find a way to either limit the damage he creates or let him get what he can get and then make sure nobody else hurts you. And lately for the Patrick Henry Patriots, it's been junior Tristan Rosebrook who has stepped up and scored a bunch of points. Everything before the Krieger brothers were out has been single digits, but lately he's really been finding the bottom of the basket and scored a bunch of points.
Yeah, he has, and that's what you want. It's that next man up mentality. Getting back to Mac Keeper a little bit, you know, not only is he a tremendous athlete, he's got the DNA because Dad was a great athlete. Patrick Henry played on that 96 state championship team. His mom, Anita Meyer, was a tremendous athlete at Patrick Henry. Both Anita and Brian coach, he's a coach's kid. He's got a high level of athletic IQ, not just the sport he's playing. He just understands he's very competitive. So as you said, I'll be interested how Bryan handles that. They're going to try to take him away, or like you said, they're going to let him get his 25 or 30, focus on the other kids not hurting them.
Yeah, and on the Bryan side of the ledger last week, got that first league win, kind of got off the schneid. That's been such a big issue for the Golden Bear boys program over the last 4 or 5 years, trying to find league wins. But they got off the schneid early last week against Delta, played a pretty good game for 4 quarters. Went to Elida on Saturday, battled a really good athletic Elida team at the field house, lost it late, but played good most of the time, had it within 4 points at the end of 3 quarters. So, you know, the Golden Bears playing a little bit better, but now the real test starts here in January with this league schedule. Van Wert tomorrow night, Fairview next Saturday night. Golden Bears have a lot of tough games on the horizon.
Yeah, the Golden Bears, I really like how this team is evolving as the season goes on. I think the young kids are really starting to play well. The Bryce Wellings, the Rhett McGills, we've seen those kids come on. I thought Jake Arnold had his best weekend last weekend as far as just being aggressive, running the point guard position. The 2 seniors, Tucker Watson, Tucker Miller, they've really settled into their roles. But I think this is a great measuring stick game for Coach Parker. This is a Patrick Henry team who's very good, but not a team that we cannot compete with. But this is where you want to see the growth of your team come into a game like this and put themselves in a position to win in the 4th quarter.
Well, it's Bryan and Patrick Henry, league game number 2 for both teams. The Bryan Athletic Booster countdown to tip-off. We're going to be back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at Bryan High School, Patrick Henry in town to face the Bears tonight. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. Last time these two teams met was in January of last year. Patrick Henry beat the Bears 69-48 over in the House of Heat. PH has won 4 straight in the series. Bryan's last win was in 2021, a 13-point victory. So let's look a little bit at our visitors from Henry County, the Patrick Henry Patriots.
Patrick Henry, coached by Brian Heber. Patrick Henry, athletic legend, 6 seasons as a basketball head coach, 81-38. Patriots are averaging 59.8 points per game and allowing 45.3. They shoot 47% from the field, 57% from the 2, 35% from the 3, 73% from the free throw line. So a very balanced and very good offensive attack. 31 rebounds, 13 assists, and 7 steals. They're just a balanced team. They have a lot of kids who understand how to play basketball, and they've done a nice job of adjusting. Like you said, Reed Krieger may be one of the finest basketball players in our area. He goes down, Coach Heber has to make some adjustments. He's done a nice job with that.
Yeah, and you can see a little bit of a struggle there. All wins until Napoleon. Both Krieger boys went out in the Napoleon game, and it's been the adjustment from there of how do we play without those two big pieces, and then right now figuring out how to win without those 2 pieces. But the schedule's not easy. You know, Grove, Tenora, Evergreen, Miller City. There's some good teams in there that Patrick Henry's been battling. So hopefully, you know, if you're a Golden Bears fan, hopefully you're catching them at a time where they're still trying to make some adjustments and figure themselves out. So let's go ahead and look then at the Golden Bears and how they are at this point in the season.
Golden Bears led by head coach Jacob Parker in his 2nd season, 12-21 overall. Bryan's averaging 44.5 points a game and allowing 46.9, shooting 37% from the field, which includes 45% from the 2, 24% from the 3, 53% from the free throw line, 25 rebounds, 10 assists, 7 steals. And you and I talked a little bit before we went on air just about the struggles at the free throw line that they have had, and that is something that I think they should improve on as the year goes on, but until they do, that's a concern.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guys, Bryce Welling in particular, that really does a good job of getting to the free throw line by the way he plays. Tucker Watson does a good job of getting to the line as a big, strong post player. But really, the Golden Bears have not shot the ball well from the free throw line. And like I said earlier, you know, last Saturday night at Elida, it was a 4-point ball game, 32-28 late, low-scoring game. Bears had 2 free throws to cut it to 2, missed both, and the next thing you knew, it was a 9 or 10-point lead for Elida, and it never got closer than 7. You know, the free throw line's a place where you can do some damage, score with the clock stop, cut into some leads, stop some runs, and the Bears got to find a way to make that free throw line work for them. You see the Northwest Ohio Athletic League standings so far, just 1 game into the early season. Golden Bears find themselves on the right side of that for one of the few times in the last half-decade or so after that win over Delta. Patrick Henry still chasing that first league win after a loss to a tough Evergreen team who's at the top. And you can see they're a pretty balanced league as far as overall records go. Teams with the best 2 records, Patrick Henry and Archbold right now, down at the bottom looking for their first wins, and things aren't going to stay that way.
No, but at this point, you know, that's something I think you hang your hat on if you're Coach Parker. You know, until someone shows us different, we're tied for first. You know, and again, this is a game where, you know, you've been through this as a coach. This is a game you just know if somehow you can stay into the 4th and you can somehow find a way to win, what that does for a young team's confidence level is incredible.
All right, well, it's a Bryan Athletic Boosters countdown to tip-off. We're going to come back, talk about keys to tonight's game for both teams. We'll meet the officials and talk a little bit more before as we get ready to tip things off in NWOAL basketball action from Bryan.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Bryan Arnold and Tim Meister here at Bryan High School to bring you tonight's boys basketball action. Patrick Henry at Bryan in the NWOAL. So let's talk about the keys to tonight's game. Keys to the game are brought to you by the Carlin Company, Realty and Auctioneers, your hometown real estate company for over 45 years. They've consistently remained #1 in Williams County and the surrounding area since 2007. Call us for all of your real estate needs. So let's talk about the keys tonight for Coach Heber's squad from Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry, they need to play disciplined defense. They want to force Bryan into not only tough twos, but tough contested shots each possession. Protect the basketball. Bryan has caused some issues, turnovers. Again, if Patrick Henry can control the basketball, not turn it over, maximize their possessions, that's going to be huge for them. And then finally rebound. It seems like every coach has that on a key to the game. And we've said that every game we've done this year. Teams that get a lot of offensive rebounds, they tend to put themselves in spots to be there at the end of the game for a win.
You know, coaches can be a little touchy and superstitious at times. You think they're just afraid to say that rebounding isn't a key because they think they'll get out rebounded like 100-0?
The minute you say something's not a key is the minute it comes back to bite you. You're right.
It becomes the key.
In fact, I think when you tell coaches what are the 3 keys, they have to eliminate the other 45 they thought about.
All right, so let's talk about the 3 keys here for the Bryan Golden Bears.
The Bears attack offensively and get to the rim, and that's something they were outstanding at against Della. Did a great job of getting to the paint, but set up their outside game. Defense needs to lead transition opportunities. We are at our best when we cause havoc and turnovers and push the ball to get some easy baskets to take the pressure off our half-court offense. Then finally limit easy scoring opportunities for Heber. I think, again, we're going to talk about this as the game goes on, Coach. There's about 3 or 4 different ways you can attack a player like Mac Heber when he is the guy that you have to prevent from scoring. I want to see if they implement 1 or 2, they try all 4, they stick with 1. That's going to be, to me, a very interesting turnout of what we do with that.
Yeah, I think he presents such a tough guard for anybody. You know, do you play with him with your post player? You know, we've got a 6'5" player we can play behind, make him shoot over the top, and at least make for a tough contest with hands in his eyes. But then he steps out to 3. He comes in this year averaging 22 points a game. He's got 16 threes. Our leading three-point maker has 16 threes. So he's as dangerous on the perimeter as anybody that we have.
And your concern, if you're Coach Parker, is we are really good defensively. I think we're our best when we play that matchup zone. Well, if we play our matchup zone, the one downfall of that is now they can really move him and try to find the mismatch where it's at. Or if you play man, at least you can kind of dictate who's guarding him. Now, that's not to say that matchup zone can't be effective. It just causes you to look at things and do things maybe a little differently in that matchup zone than you're used to.
Yeah, and I would say, too, I'm a bit of a proponent of, you know, take when we played Pettysville. We didn't broadcast that game, but I was there, obviously. When you've got a kid like a Jack Leppelmeyer or a Will Donovan from Stryker, Mac Heber now, because they a little bit, you know, the Rosebrook kid's been good, but they got the score. I'm kind of a proponent of let that guy get his, and if his isn't 50, then we can take everybody else away. Let him get his 25 or 30, have the night that he wants to have, and if we can limit everybody else's damage, we got a chance to win basketball games.
Yeah, and chances are he's going to get his anyway.
Right.
One way or the other, like you said, let's prevent the other guys from having big games. And part of that is let's keep the other guys off the offensive boards.
Right. Yeah, that's you got to be aware. If you are so singularly focused on that guy that you get 6, 8, 10 eyes on him in a possession, that leaves a lot of really good basketball players free to go do what they want, backside cuts, offensive rebound, or whatever it is, and that's where you can really get hurt.
I forget the game, but we saw the girls do that in the first half. They face guarded the other team's best player, and it really kind of made everything wonky. After the game, of course, the Lady Bears won. Coach Groshington in the halftime and said, hey, let's just go back and do what we do well and get away from doing the stuff we're not comfortable with. So part of that is, like you said, you start doing things you're not used to, that can create other problems.
All right, well, it's time to meet tonight's game officials, NWOAL assigned officials, brought to you by Tri-State Vision Center. That they've been serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all of your eye care needs. Officials for tonight's game are Perry Hunter, Scott Brubaker, and Durwood Hibbard, which does not seem to be right because I think that's Ryan Heller leading the charge across the floor, correct?
It sure looks like him.
That looks like Ryan Heller. Last I checked on Ryan Heller, that's Ryan Heller. So I'm not sure about the other two guys, but one of those guys is Ryan Heller. So regardless, those are our three officials for tonight. We'll see how they do. You know what? If they're not any of those guys, they won't mind if we say them by name while they're on the broadcast. But somewhere, Scott Brubaker's going to be really upset if I have to say some bad things about him tonight into the broadcast. But this has been the Bryan Athletic Booster Countdown to Tip-Off. Starting lineups and more will be coming up on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
All right, back at Bryan High School, a minute left on the clock before we go to tip. Any last-minute thoughts here, Coach Meister, before we get this one underway?
Well, just something to kind of plant in your head that you and I can talk about as the game goes on. We talked about if you have a kid like a Matt Keeber, you know, what do you do with him? Do you try to take him away? So if the Bears are going to do that, to me, if you're in a man-to-man, what you're going to try to do is either prevent him from catching the ball, you're going to double him when he catches it to make him give it up. You're going to try to make sure that whenever he puts the ball on the floor, you're going to squeeze in and help. And then once he gives it up, not let him get it back. So again, I'm just very curious. To me, I think that is a massive key to this game of what we do to attack him versus what we do to attack the other four on the floor.
That's the defensive end, and then I think on the offensive end for the Bears, it's about putting the ball in the basket. They find a way to score, find multiple guys that can get some, when they get good looks, they can knock shots down, and if we can get to the free throw line, make free throws.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are so much better when we get the ball into the paint. Don't have to necessarily score in there. I mean, we do a lot, but we just get the ball into the paint. This sure opens up many, many things.
All right, we're going to let it go down now to our public address announcer, Mr. Aaron Hughes, to get things underway here in Bryan.
Ladies and gentlemen, America is a land of free and home of the brave, and that freedom has been afforded us by the dedication and sacrifice of brave servicemen and women currently deployed throughout our communities and around the world, and many others who have come before us. To thank these extraordinary men and women, to honor our nation, please rise and join the Bryan Pep Band under the direction of Jason Bluthey in the playing of our national anthem.
is of Williams County. Now we're going to get starting lineups. Starting lineups are brought to you by Bryan Ford Lincoln. Bryan Ford Lincoln, located at 920 North Main Street, where good values mean a great deal.
It's also official appreciation week by OHSA, so no nasty comments, please. But our officials for tonight are Perry Hunter, Ryan Heller, and Durwood Hibbert. Gentlemen, welcome to Bryan. In order to make today's contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and community in a positive and respectful manner. That means follow the rules, speak and act responsibly, show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, the officials, the coaches, the administration, authority figures, and of course your team and their opponents. Let's make tonight's contest great. Remember to respect the game. Thank you. Now to meet the teams. First, with the guests on the scoreboard, the Patrick Henry Patriots. Starters for Patrick Henry, number 2, junior Kiefer Holloway. Number 4, senior Calvin Schrader. Number 11, senior Matt Heber. Number 25, junior Tristan Rosebrook. And number 30, senior Brian Sherritt. Plus the coach Brian Heber, assistant captain C, and JV coach Ben Teach.
Things underway here from Bryan. Patrick Henry at Bryan, NWOAL action, game number 2 in the league for both schools. Coach Meister and I had a lot of questions early, about to get some things answered now from both teams. Starting lineup for Patrick Henry, the 2 seniors on the roster both start. Matt Heber, number 11, Brian Sherritt, number 30, accompanied by, 3 seniors, all 3 seniors. Calvin Schrader, also a senior, and then 2 juniors join them, Tristan Rosebrook and Kiefer Holloway. On the floor for the Bears, Jake Arnold, Rhett McGill, Bryce Welling, Tucker Miller, and Tucker Watson as the Bears open up in the 2-3 zone after Patrick Henry wins the tip.
Yeah, they're staying in that matchup zone. You can tell a lot of attention being played to Mac Heber, wherever he's at. They're doing a nice job so far communicating. Mac started on the baseline, got to the wing, eventually going to get to the point. So the Bears will have to continue to do that.
Rosebrook kicks to Heber, left side 3, buried. Pure first shot. Patrick Henry up early on the main stop scoreboard, 3-0 with that Heber 3.
And that's what we talked about, that matchup zone. It's tough because you have to communicate so well because they'll move him around to all different spots on the floor.
Patrick Henry, I can't tell if they're in man-to-man or in zone. The Bears just kind of stood, so it looks like they're in man-to-man to start. Golden Bears working around the perimeter. Arnold finds McGill on the baseline, finds Tucker at the free throw line, right elbow, taken away by Heber. Now Bryce Welling's going to try right baseline, nothing there. Finds Rhett McGill with a great backdoor cut and a layup off glass. Bears on the board. 3-2, the early lead. A minute 10 into the game here on the Main Stop scoreboard. Main Stop's open when you need them. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursdays every Thursday. Find a Main Stop near you. The Bears have got to be aware of Tristan Rosebrook, number 25 there. He's got 28 made threes on the year and has really picked up his scoring since the Kriegers went out. as Heber gets into the paint, knocks down another shot. 5 for him, 5 for the Patriots, and a 3-point lead early here for PH. Jake Arnold works against the top of the PH defense, picks his dribble up, gets it to Bryce Welling, back out to Arnold. Bears will reset their offense here. Ball goes into Watson at the elbow, throws the fade to Arnold. Arnold swings to Welling. Bears just a little hesitant in their offense here to start. Nothing real crisp. Arnold gets stuck on the right side, gets it to Tucker Watson. He works against Matt Heber. Arnold off of a screen from Watson. Nobody comes out. Step back three is short, no good. Ball gets kicked around a little bit. Tucker Watson about had it, comes into the hands of Matt Heber. Heber's got it across the timeline, working against the top of the Bears zone. Finds Rosebrook, who takes a deep three. No good. Heber there for the rebound, put back, and 7 early points for Matt Heber and a 7-2 lead for Patrick Henry.
Yeah, and if this continues, I think he's going to have to get out of his matchup zone and go to a man and try to match up with him the best he can. Because right now, they're just doing too good of a job of moving Mac around.
Tucker Miller, free throw line jumper is good. Nice shot fake, good move by him. Tucker Miller knocks down the jumper. 5 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Early action, Bears and PH from Bryan. Rosebrook penetrates. Finds Shirt, finishes off glass. Bears just a little, about a half step slow in the rotation there in their defense.
Yeah, they look a little groggy coming out. I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just not real crisp. Everything's a little bit out of sync right now.
Arnold's got it working against Rosebrook. Picks up the dribble, gives it to Welling. Welling attacks on the baseline. Gets a shot up over Shirt, but he can't finish off glass. Heber with the rebound, pushes ahead to Rosebrook, back to Heber, top of the key, takes the three. Back iron, no good. Long rebound comes off. Calvin Schrader from PH tries to gather it up, loses it off his hands, so the ball goes out of bounds to the Bears. 9-4 PH leads early here. 4:24 left in the opening quarter from Bryan on the main stop scoreboard.
Like to see the Bears maybe go to a set here, try to get some movement, try to get some better cuts, maybe try to get a mismatch they see.
Tucker Watson has it up top. Gets it to Rhett McGill, hands it off to Tucker Miller. The Bears get lucky there, get the ball back, and Bryce Welling is able to finish off glass and pick up a foul. A little sloppy at the top. Bryce Welling found the handle, attacked down the paint, made the layup, got fouled. Fouled by Kiefer Holloway, junior from PH. That's his first foul of the game.
Certainly wasn't pretty, but the Bears had much better offensive movement. When you have that much movement, things tend to go your way. So really, if they could just continue to do that.
And Bryce Welling, where it gets an adjustment there for him, needs to get better at the free throw line. Comes in shooting 41% at the line. Goes 1 of 1 right there from the Welling Construction free throw line. Has the Bears back within 2. 9-7 PH leads as the Bears throw in a little bit of three-quarter court pressure. Schrader kicks, finds Heber. Heber shot fake. Got Tucker Watson in the air. Coach Heber wanted a foul on that. No whistle. Heber missed. Ball came out to the Bears. Jake Arnold's got it. Gets the Bears into their offense.
Bears may have got a break on that.
Yep, I think Coach Heber might have had a pretty good argument for some contact. Good shot fake by Mac Heber. Got Watson in the air. Arnold drives. Turnaround jump shot in the lane is good. Bears tied now at 9 on the main stop scoreboard. So Bears weather that a little bit of an early storm, so now they need to continue to get some stops out of their defense. Holloway pushes to the sideline, skip pass, Rosebrook, open three, no good. Great checkouts inside by the Bears. Rhett McGill pulls that down. Bears quickly the other way. Welling, handoff to Miller. Miller, nice little head fake there. Causes a foul, looks like from Calvin Schrader. A little grab as Miller went with the blow by.
You know, in 2 or 3 possessions earlier, we talked about them going to the set and getting more offensive movement. And this is what it does, because all of a sudden now the Bears have been in attack mode and gotten really good looks on the offensive end.
So the Bears will inbound underneath their own basket. Arnold's got the ball. Throws it up top to Rhett McGill. Gathers, guarded by Rosebrook. Hand off to Bryce Welling. Welling's going to attack the gap. Finds Tucker Miller. He attacks. Jump shot. Kind of got caught in between. Tried to go off glass. Too strong. Rebound to Heber. Comes down. Heber comes in averaging 11 boards a game. He's probably got 3 or 4 already. Bears are back in their zone. Heber Heber gets harassed by Arnold and Welling up top. He
Great
finds
pass.
Shirt, nice diagonal to Shirt on the block, and we're going to get a foul here on the Bears. Going to get a foul on Tucker Miller. You had your choice of Tuckers there. Tucker Miller, Tucker Watson, both around the ball. They're going to give that one to Miller.
Really a little bit of misfortune there for Bryan. They did a nice job of creating a loose ball situation, and Matt Keeper was just able to come up and make a play, but really nice job defensively by the Bears of causing that.
Bryan Shirt, senior at the line, at the Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, third generation family owned general contractors for quality custom homes and renovation projects, commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712. That free throw is no good. Score stays tied at 9. We got a couple of subs in the ball game. Hunter Watson and Easton Kerr check in for Tucker Miller and Rhett McGill. Second free throw also no good, rattles out. Rebound chased down by Tucker Watson. Bears with the ball, chance to take the lead here in the first quarter. 2:25 left on the main stop scoreboard in the first quarter. Watson to Watson, Hunter to Tucker. Tucker skips out of the block. PH playing a little bit of zone now, 2-3 zone that's extended high outside the three-point line. Arnold and Hunter Watson play a little catch up top. Now Arnold directs the action. He gets it to Bryce Welling, right wing. And Bryce was really wide, and he's trying to get some help over there and steps on the sideline, so just an unforced error by the Bears. You get another sub into the game here. Patrick Henry. Max Johnson checks in for Bryan Shirt. Also, Brooks Punches has checked in the game for Patrick Henry. Schrader down to Heber on the block, goes left shoulder, turnaround, rattles around, doesn't go. But if you're the Bears, you got to get any miss that Heber's going to give you, and they're not able to get that one. Long rebound off the Punches miss from 3, comes down to Hunter Watson. Good checkouts by the Bears. That time chased it down. Easton Kerr's got it in the corner, and he throws it to no one. And back-to-back unforced errors there by the Bears. Just unfortunate. Chance to take a lead, and you can't give away possessions against a good team like this.
2 straight possessions where Bryan could have taken the lead and had 2 turnovers back-to-back. Like you said, just not potent enough offensively to give possessions away like that. No,
and there's just no reason for either one of those. Those are ones that we caused to ourselves. Tucker Miller comes back in as Bryce Welling will take a break. PH will inbound underneath their own basket. Rosebrook inbounds to Schrader, swings to Heber. His three's no good off back iron. Long rebound, chased down in the corner by Jake Arnold. Gets it to Tucker Watson, to Tucker Miller, to Easton Kerr, who drops it underneath the basket all by himself. He's not going to want to see that one again. Ball ends up back to Tucker Miller, long off back iron. So the Bears don't get anything. 3 straight possessions, and that time they had a wide open catch underneath the basket. I think Easton Kerr was already thinking about shooting before he got the ball out of his hands.
Sometimes the hardest catch to make is the one when you're all by yourself.
Rosebrook in the corner, chased off the spot by Hunter Watson. Punches top of the key 3. That time is good. Good ball movement there by PH that time. Bears got caught in rotation, couldn't get back to the shooter. Punches has made 10 threes on the year, 11 now, so he can shoot it with some confidence. Patrick Henry 3-point lead, under a minute left in the quarter. Arnold works off of a screen, kicks to Hunter Watson. Left side 3, big answer by Hunter Watson. He stays hot from outside the arc. Ball game tied at 12, 17 seconds left on the main stop scoreboard. Rosebrook finds Schrader. Punches, going to try it again. Corner 3, rattles all the way around, doesn't go. Tipped out. Jake Arnold picks it up, and he goes behind his back. Left side 3 from Hunter Watson, just short on that one. A good flourish there. Good finish by the Bears. We're 12-12 after 1 at Bryan. Bears got down a little bit early. Good recovery there. So we're going to come back. We'll talk a little bit of Bryan boys basketball action. Tied at 12 here from Bryan.
Fallen on hard times? At the Williams County Veteran Service Office, we're here when life gets tough. We provide emergency financial assistance for housing, food, and utilities, plus transportation to VA medical appointments. Whether you need help today or just someone who understands, we're ready to serve. Please reach out to see what we can do for you. because the only veteran we can't assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
All right, back at Bryan High School, Bryan Arnold, Tim Meister here. We're going to get second quarter action underway. Bryan will have the opening possession. 12-12 ball game on the main stop scoreboard. Good little answer by the Bears after getting down 7-2 early in that first quarter.
Big possession here for the Bears. It'd be nice to see them take the lead for the first time in a game and see how Patrick Henry plays from behind.
Bryce Welling goes in. Ball gets blocked out of bounds by Mac Heber. On the floor for the Bears, Cooper Beltran, Bryce Welling, Tucker Miller, Hunter Watson, and Rhett McGill. Calvin Schrader, Tristan Rosebrock, Mac Heber, Brooks punches, and Max Johnson on the floor as that inbounds pass gets picked off by Mac Heber. Bears turn it over. Patrick Henry now on the offensive end. Rosebrook left his feet, got lucky there. Ball got tipped to a PH player, kind of threw an errant pass into the paint. Heber draws a crowd in the paint. Schrader, left-hand three, no good. Long. Heber chases down the rebound, hands it off to Schrader. Finds punches, shot fakes, gets right baseline, jump shot, no good. Great checkouts by the Bears. McGill gets it up to Welling, who's on a run out quick the other way. Tries to draw some contact, doesn't get the call. Misses off glass, and PH is going to bring it back the other way.
Nice job there by both offense and defense attacking the basket. Defensive player did a nice job of holding his ground. Whoa!
Tristan Rosebrock pulled up from the 10-foot line on the volleyball court and buried a deep three. Yes, talking to some people about Patrick Henry and the adjustment here without the Kriegers, they did say Rosebrock hasn't met a shot he doesn't like, and that time he just said, I'm going to pull the trigger and see what we got. And bottom of the net from the 10-foot line. Bryce Welling passes up the three, drives on the baseline, can't get the short jumper to go. Heber pulls down another rebound. Punches, it'll bring it across the timeline, gets to Rosebrook. Bears chase him off the three-point line, swings to Heber, to Schrader, back to Heber, left elbow. He leaves it short. That rebound chased down by Max Johnson, but he throws it to Tucker Miller from Bryan. Miller will bring it across, gets it to Hunter Watson, skip pass to Miller, to Rhett McGill in the walkaway, finds Hunter Watson, back to McGill. That was a little low and tight off of McGill's shins. Gets tied up by Mac Heber, so the Bears will turn it over again. 15-12, 2 minutes into the second quarter here, 6 minutes left in the half. PH with a three-point lead. Hunter Watson and Cooper Beltran will check out. Jake Arnold and Tucker Watson back on the floor for the Bears. Also, Kiefer Holloway back on the floor for PH. Looks like Schrader's getting a break now. Mac Heber has it up top, swings to Rosebrook. Rosebrook probes on the left side, swings it to Holloway. Punches has it up top now to Max Johnson. Back to Punches, gathers his feet. It's a good look at three, can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to Rhett McGill. Doing a great job cleaning up the boards there for the Bears right now. Arnold's going to take a three after getting it back from Welling. Gets his own miss, chases it down, he's in the paint. And then we're going to get a travel call on Jake Arnold.
Yeah, that's one you're almost going to see Jake go right back up with that ball once he got the rebound. And he was 10 feet away. Just catch that thing, go right up and shoot it again.
PH will inbound and go the length of the floor. 5:24 left here in the half. Long skip pass, a little contact. McGill runs into Johnson, no whistle. PH keeps possession. Punches, tries to throw a quick pass into the paint, turns it over into the hands of Bryce Welling. Welling quickly to Arnold. Arnold attacks, back out to Welling. Gives it to Jake Arnold, they'll reset, and those two are playing catch a little bit on the right side. Arnold up top, back to Welling. Swing to Tucker Miller. He finds Tucker Watson. Baseline jumper doesn't go. Heber pulls down the rebound. Really good ball movement.
Great
and
ball
then a
movement.
good look by the Bears. Watson just couldn't get it to go. And the Bears need more touches in that area for Tucker Watson. He needs to be able to get into a rhythm. Heber works his way into the paint and then dribbles it off his knee, and the ball goes out of bounds. Pretty good defensive possession that time for the Bears.
I tell you what, the Bears, since about the 4-minute mark of the first quarter, they have done a great job wherever Mac Heber has went. They've gotten a second body there. They've gotten some extra hands in there. They even got a little physical with him, and it's kind of caused a little bit of frustration on Mac's part.
Arnold works off of a screen from McGill, finds Tucker Miller. Left corner three is good. And Tucker Miller, he's been super streaky. When he's been hot, he's been hot. That's another good hit there for the senior. Ties this ball game at 15, close to a turnover up top. Jake Arnold about able to sneak in, poke that one from behind, and then we're going to get a foul on Bryce Welling against Mac Heber up top. PH will have it out of bounds underneath. Just the first foul on Welling, first foul this quarter on either team at the halfway mark.
Yeah, right play by Bryce. He was just a half step late.
Inbounds play goes from, ends up in the hands of Heber. He misses the three, rebound to punches, swing to Rosebrook in the corner. His three's also no good. Heber just over the top of everybody, gathers the rebound, puts it back in, and Coach Heber from Patrick Henry, Dad wants a timeout. He's going to get it. 30 seconds. We'll stay here. Timeouts tonight brought to you by SNS Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, SNS Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. SNS does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729. So Coach Meister, Coach Heber called that one after getting the putback from Mac Heber to put them up 2. What do we think he's telling the troops?
I don't think he was real thrilled with the amount of three-pointers they've taken the last couple of possessions, because early on they were so successful getting the ball into the high post area. Once it gets into the high post against the zone, it creates a whole lot of issues. And I think that's probably what he's adjusting to right now. Otherwise, I don't know why he would call a timeout, but he must have saw something and wanted to talk to the kids while it was fresh in his mind, but also fresh in their mind as they just made that play.
And I think we've seen that a little bit more this year, guys, getting buckets and calling timeouts. I don't know, it's momentum maybe. I mean, something good happened, so let's go talk about it and make it happen again.
You know, I've answered that question from a bunch of people about why coaches call timeouts, and I said, you have to watch this year. I can't tell you. I don't know.
Tucker Miller long off the backside, rebound chased down by Brian Shirt. You saw PH ran a little bit of run and jump there out of their zone to the wing entry pass.
There's the high post entry. That's what he wanted. Nice job by Jake Arnold.
Punches, throws it right to Jake Arnold, who attacks going the other way. Jump stop, throws up a floater that doesn't hit anything. Bryce Welling gathers to Tucker Watson, to Tucker Miller. Tucker Miller misses again. Ball gets poked away, ends up in Heber's hands. Heber works the other end, works against Tucker Watson. Jake Arnold, no good off glass. He gets his rebound, and then he's going to get a foul on the putback. Tucker Watson is going to get whistled for the foul. That one looked a little cheap. Probably more contact on the first shot, so maybe just missed the first call and gave the second one. First one on Tucker Watson puts Mac Heber on the free throw line, Welling Construction free throw line. He's got 11, looking to get 12 of the, well, it'll be, if he gets to 12, it'll be 12 of their 20. And that's what he does. Comes in shooting 80% from the free throw line. Big senior is going to go down and be a pitcher at Ohio State next year. Good athlete, regardless of what he's doing. Long skip pass, Bryce Welling to Hunter Watson. Watson swings it to Arnold on the left side. He gets it to the top of the key extended. Bryce Welling on the right wing, back to Hunter Watson. Finds Arnold, right side three is up and off back iron, no good. Brett McGill had it in his hands, good board, gets poked away by Holloway, but it'll stay here with the Bears underneath.
Nice job by Rhett McGill in that backside offensive rebounding position, pinned his man and got that long rebound.
Bears will inbound. Arnold gets it to McGill, top of the key, quickly to Welling on the right side. Hunter Watson now has it up top, gets it back to Welling on the right wing. PH stays in that 2-3 zone. Hunter Watson, good attack on the right side. Found Rhett McGill. Tough spot to get a shot off. He gets it back out to Arnold. Bears reset the offense. Arnold, right elbow jump shot for Watson. And that's where Tucker Watson can be really effective. He is great from 12 to 15 feet.
Yeah, and he's got a funny knack of finding dead spots in zones and getting there. Nice find by Jake, by the way.
20-17. PH leads on the main stop scoreboard, and then we're getting a bump called on Hunter Watson. Just a half step late. Good attack by Holloway. Hunter had the baseline taken away, but gave him a little hip.
And that's one where Hunter probably could have let him go because he's kind of stuck behind the backboard in no man's land.
Third foul on the Bears this quarter, first on Hunter Watson. Ball gets inbounded to Heber. He works against against Welling and McGill. Shot misses. Rhett McGill comes out with it. Jake Arnold attacks. Tries to get it to McGill. A little high with the pass. Chased down by Welling. Welling finds Hunter Watson, who finds Tucker Watson. Ball gets poked away by Matt Heber. Turned over. Patrick Henry will go the other way. Heber down the left side. Out to Holloway. His three is up. No good. Short off front iron. Ball gets poked out of bounds by Patrick Henry. Feels like a lot of activity, and it's 20-17 with a minute and a half left in the first half. It feels that way when we watch the Bears. A lot of activity, maybe not a ton of scoring, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
There is, and they have a good way of creating good chaos.
Bryce Welling, jump stop, finds Tucker Watson. He gets the ball to go. Gets a shot off over Matt Heber. No easy task. It's back-to-back buckets for the senior, and the Bears are within one.
Nice find by Bryce Welling.
20-19, PH leads. Rosebrook finds Schrader at the right elbow, swings it out to Heber. Heber gets it back to Schrader, left-handed three, top of the key is short, chased down by Rosebrook. Schrader's gonna try again. That time he gets it. You can't afford to give a lot of second chances to anybody. 4-point lead now for Patrick Henry, under a minute left in the half. Arnold works off of a screen from McGill, attacks, kicks to Welling in the corner. Welling jump stop. 2-foot jump shot, no good off back iron. Rebound comes down to PH, and Heber's going to walk it across the midcourt line. 25 seconds left on the main stop scoreboard. PH looking to add to that 4-point lead. Bears want to stop here, keep it close going into the halftime break. PH happy to hold. Rosebrook's got it in the circle up top.
Bears switch to man.
Swing to Holloway. Out to Heber.
Now back to their matchup.
Backdoor lob for the dunk for Patrick Henry. Perfect set play. Bears fell asleep on the backside. Alley-oop for a dunk to Matt Heber, and that's a pretty emphatic way to end the first half. That gives PH a 6-point lead. The Bears had plenty of chances to be close and closer, chances to take the lead. Turned it over a few times when they had those opportunities and gave up a couple second chances. Won the possession right before that where they allowed an offensive rebound off of a missed three. The next three went up and in. So, and right now I think we're looking too at the scoreboard. 14 for Matt Heber, 25 for Patrick Henry, and out of the 19 for the Bears. Looks like 4 is our leading scorer. We got a lot of guys that put the ball in the bucket, or nobody that's really been consistent offensively yet tonight. So we're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. We're going to come back. We'll talk about the ball game, talk some statistics as soon as we have things dialed in. Brian Arnold and Tim Meister bringing the action tonight from Bryan High School. PH with a 6-point lead at the half.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
If you served, you may qualify for VA health care, even if you were denied before. New rules recognize burn pit and toxic exposure claims. We can help you apply, understand benefits, and access the care you've earned. Let us help protect your health. Today and for the future, contact us to see how we can help. Williams County Veterans Service Office. Veterans serving veterans.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
All right, back at Bryan High School while our second and third grade boys get some halftime action in here. Patrick Henry's got the 6-point lead at the half after a Mac Heber dunk to end the action in the first half. 25-19 PH leads. Heber leads PH in all scores with 14 of the 25 points for his team, and he's been everything that was advertised, Coach Meister.
Yeah, Mac Heber's just tremendous. Again, we said before the game, they can play him at all 5 spots. When you play a matchup zone, it's a little more difficult because you have to be aware every time he has the ball. I don't know if we've seen a possession where he's caught it at the same spot 2 possessions in a row. Once on the block, once out front, once to the wing. And then the way that second half ended, I knew he was athletic, but that caught me off guard, quite honestly, that he had that kind of hops off of 2 feet. So, yeah, tremendous player.
All right, well, just a reminder that tonight's ball game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veterans Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Theo's Supply Center. Bryan got down early. It was 7-2 out of the gate, maybe even 9-2 out of the gate, and Brian Heber was on fire early, scored the first 7, I believe, for Patrick Henry. Bears did a nice job of getting themselves back in the ball game, used some really, I thought, good defensive rebounding. They're outsized, especially around Heber, but Rosebrook is long, and then there are a couple other strong defenders, strong post players for PH. But I thought, like, specifically Rhett McGill did a great job of getting bodies on people. He had a nice bucket off of a pass from Bryce Welling. Bryce Welling got a nice 3-point play. There's been balance. Nobody for the Bears has more than 5 points, but everybody that's played, I believe, has scored, and other than maybe Cooper Beltran. So the Bears have gotten some good things done offensively. I think they've been playing with a lot of energy on the defensive end. A little bit like what we talked about in the intro. They've done what I would choose to do, is you let Heber get his. They're making him work hard for the 14. I'm going to live with that if he doubles it up and he gets 25 to 28. I'm going to be okay with that as long as you can keep everybody else where they're at in those low single digits. What you have to do if you're the Bears on the other end is find a way to put that little orange thing in the big orange thing, and that's just been a struggle this winter for Bryan basketball.
Yeah, and it's, if you're Jacob Parker, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now as far as where the score of this game is, because you've really done a lot of the things that you want to do. The place where the other players beside Mac Heber have hurt us is they've gotten their shots off of offensive rebounds. They've gotten, we saw 2 3-pointers. They got, like you had said, we can't give them more than 1 chance. They hit 2 3-pointers off offensive rebounds. So take those 2 away. This is a 19-19 game. So it's just executing the little things that you have to do when you play a team like Patrick Henry.
Yeah, just too good of a team to give second chances. And, you know, we've talked, it's been Mac Heber. Tristan Rosebrook buried that big 3. Yeah. But the rest of those guys aren't a bunch of stiffs. There's some good athletes out there, some guys who play football that have won a lot of games and been extremely competitive. They don't have the 2 Krieger kids, which they'd love to have, but that doesn't make them completely left-handed as they're playing this game.
No, absolutely not. And Mac Heber's really unselfish. We've seen him make 3 or 4 really good passes tonight. He's always constantly looking for his teammates. So, yeah, you're right. They have other players that are really good, too.
All right, well, we're going to take another break. We'll come back. We'll talk team stats, some individual scoring, and talk about possible adjustments coming into the second half. It's a Bryan Golden Bear Athletic Sports Network. We'll be back right after this break.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Allie Held Herman is a 2004 Bryan graduate and former Lady Bear basketball player. Allie tragically passed away in 2021, but she saved the lives of many others through organ donation. Allie's family encourages you to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor.
Our mom gave the gift of life. She is a hero. We love you, Mom.
All right, back at Bryan High School. So Coach Meister, let's talk some team stats from the first half here in the PH's 6-point lead.
For the Patrick Henry Patriots, they were 6 for 14 from the 2, 4 for 15 from the 3, 1 for 3 from the free throw line for a total of 25. They did gather 7 offensive rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds, and only turned it over 3 times. For the Bryan Golden Bears, they were 6 for 14 from the 2, 2 for 8 from the 3, 1 for 1 from the free throw line for their total of 19. 4 offensive rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds, and the Bears turned it over 5 times. So only a combined 8 turnovers by both teams in the first half. A very, very clean game by both teams as far as taking care of the basketball.
All right, so let's look at some individual scoring here at the half. We've talked about it already. Matt Keeber of Patrick Henry's 25 points. He has 14, including a three-pointer, and he's 1 of 1 from the free throw line. And then you've got 3 points from Calvin Schrader on a 3, from Brooke Punches on a 3, and from Tristan Rosebrook on a 3. And then senior Brian Schurt rounds out the scoring with his 2 points. On the Bryan side of the ledger, like I said, everybody outside of Beltran and Kerr who played have scored, but it's been limited to 1 or 2 buckets for each player. Bryce Welling has 3 on a traditional 3-point play. Tucker Miller's got 5 to lead the way. He's got a 3-pointer. Brett McGill has scored 2. Jake Arnold scored 2. Hunter Watson's hit a 3, and Tucker Watson has 4. So the Bears have been balanced. They just need to bump those numbers up a little bit if they're going to continue to compete here in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we've gotten really good looks on the offensive end of the floor. We can't complain about the shot selection or the shots taken. We just have to have some of those go in.
All right, so both teams are back on the floor. We got about a minute and a half left on the clock. If you are Coach Parker, anything specific you're talking adjustments-wise here in the second half?
You know, again, it's just keeping an eye on Mac and making sure you're limiting him and the entire Patrick Henry basketball team to 1 possession. The other thing is, and again, it may be philosophical, but I know a couple times, maybe more than a couple times, many times our guards have gotten into the paint tonight, and they've gotten past the defender and gotten between that foul line and volleyball line, and they passed. I think at some point you get in the paint as a guard, you got to think score. And I think we're almost thinking pass first, score second. And I don't think when you get in the paint, that can be your philosophical thought process. On the Patrick Henry side, like I said, they got a little 3 happy at times when Coach Ebert took that timeout. They came out of that timeout, and I think every offensive possession where that ball got to the high post, and he wants to get inside out. So he's going to do that. I want to see if he doesn't pressure Bryan a little bit. We saw them try to do a little trapping out of their half-court zone. If he won't try to do that a little more often in the second half.
All right, we're getting ready for second half action here. Let's talk some out-of-town scores. It's a league night all around the area. In the GMC, Tenora leads Fairview at the end of 3, 34-33. At the half, Paulding was leading Ayersville 22-13. At the end of 3, Wayne Trace up big on Hicksville 55-30. In the NWOAL, Archbold leads Delta at the half 18-12 in a low-scoring game. In WBL action, OG leads Elida 40-19 at the half. Defiance is tied with Van Wert, tomorrow night's opponent, 20-20. And in the BBC, Stryker leads Holgate 25-14. Out-of-town scores brought to you by WBNO and WQCT. No one covers the area like 100.9 B-Rock. Bears get the opening possession. Great find by Tucker Miller to Rhett McGill. That one went around the rim and came out. Coach Parker got exactly what he wanted with the look. Bears just not able to finish. Patrick Henry now on offense. Holloway up top, starters on the floor for Patrick Henry, Rosebrook, Heber, Holloway, as Rosebrook will bury the 15-footer at the free throw line and stretch that Patrick Henry lead to 8. Schrader and Schurt, the other 2 that are out there for Patrick Henry. Starters for the Bears, Arnold, Welling, McGill, Watson, and Miller, the 2 seniors, Watson and Miller on the floor. Arnold finds Tucker Watson down low. Look to kick it out to Tucker Miller. Ball gets tipped out of bounds, I think, by Tristan Rosebrook. So the Bears will have it out of bounds underneath their basket.
Yeah, in a situation, we got it down in the paint, we got it low. I'd like to see Tucker Watson score there.
Yep.
You know, I understand, you know, the athlete he's going up against, but the bottom line is you still got to look to score and be aggressive in the paint.
Arnold's inbounds pass gets tipped away and stolen by Patrick Henry. Not much movement there by the Bears on the inbounds. Every inbounds play so far has just been throw it out towards half court. Rosebrook with a little bit of a heat check, hit a 15-footer, so he tried a 40-footer. Didn't get that to go, but chased down again on the long rebound by Patrick Henry. Rosebrook's got it to swing to Schrader. Bears in their zone, and Patrick Henry perfectly happy to be patient and look for their shot. Holloway had it in deep, and he tried to pass it. That ball got poked away, turned over. Arnold's got it. He's going to attack to the basket, tries to shoot through contact. His layup won't go, no whistle. That rebound comes down to Rosebrook for Patrick Henry. So a couple of good looks inside for the Bears, neither one able to go. Patrick Henry, 27-19 lead on the main stop scoreboard. About 2 minutes into the third quarter. Matt Keeber gets it to Rosebrook in the circle up top as they'll set their offense against the Bryan zone. Shirt, elbow jumper, good. 10-point lead for Patrick Henry. That was just way too easy. Patrick Henry spread Bryan out. Bryan Shirt found the left elbow and made the 15-footer.
Yeah, I think Bryan's in a little bit of a dangerous territory now. You don't want this thing to get to 12 or 14. You want to make sure you get a good look here. Keep that thing at 10 or under and chip away at it. Nice pass.
Jake Arnold finds Rhett McGill underneath the basket. Coach Parker's going to call a full timeout. Bears get a bucket there. We're going to take a full timeout with them. We'll be right back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The historic Bryan Arts and Education building is being renovated for the next generation, transforming it into a welcoming, accessible space where performances and events can be comfortably enjoyed. The $6.2 million
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
All right, back at Bryan High School, S&S directional boring called by Coach Parker after Rhett McGill finishes off glass, gets himself to 4 points. Bears trail by 8, 29-21 on the main stop scoreboard.
Good response by the Bears, got down by 10. We said we need to really keep it under 10. Jake Arnold, great find with Rhett McGill and got the basket. Coach Parker with an immediate timeout, and you and I are talking. They found some dead spots in our zone, and I think Coach Parker and the staff recognize that, and I want to see what adjustments they're going to make. Let's see if they make it a little more difficult for PH to get in the high post. Looks like the Bears are now going to go straight man.
Tristan Rosebrook works it up across. He walks across the timeline as PH was eyeballing the defense. Bears in a man-to-man defense. Schrader gets it to Heber to Holloway. Back to Rosebrook, long three, no good off front iron, and the Bears don't get a rebound again. Rosebrook, nice takeaway by Tucker Watson did a great job because Rosebrook had the lane to the basket, probably had a shot, but tried to dump to a teammate. Watson got a hand on it, went off of Rosebrook out of bounds, so the Bears will get it. And now they're into their offense working against the Patrick Henry zone. Tucker Miller swings to Bryce Welling. Back to Miller, right side. That ball got tipped a little bit. Found McGill, back to Miller. Miller now to Bryce Welling, deep left point. McGill alone again under the basket. He keeps finding it in a good spot, and then we're going to get a foul called on Calvin Schrader. Patrick Henry contingency didn't like it, but that's a pretty good shoulder into the back of Tucker Watson right there. I think that's probably a pretty good call.
Yeah, that's legit. You see Patrick Henry really starting to creep out on our guards and now trying to defend him at 22 and 23 feet. We have to have a willingness to put it on the floor and get past him.
Bryan struggling again with the inbounds. Arnold finds McGill in the corner, gets it out to Tucker Miller. He attacks the gap. Good penetration, finds Bryce Welling. He attacks, tries to dump it off to Rhett McGill. That's a little bit, one too many times to the well. Shirt saw that, came from the backside, punched it away. Turnover for the Bears, and Patrick Henry now has it on defense.
You know I sound like a broken record, but again, you get the ball into the paint as an offensive player, you've got to start thinking score and not overpass.
Bears are back in their zone now. They just showed man-to-man for possession. Schrader wide open three won't go. Heber easy Easy rebound, easy bucket. Just shoulders right into Watson, goes over the top, finishes for 16. Patrick Henry back up by 10. Arnold with the ball up top, gets to Welling, right side, back to Tucker Miller. Welling screens for Arnold, left side three, no good. Sorry, right side three, no good. Back iron, rebound to Patrick Henry. Bears stay pretty cold from outside. They've hit 2 threes. Tucker Miller and Hunter Watson both have one. And that's it. The Bears have not shot it very well again tonight. Heber gets deep, can't get it to go. Ball gets tipped out by Rhett McGill to Bryce Welling. Pushes quickly up. He goes right at Heber, can't get the shot to go off glass and back iron. Rhett McGill, good hustle save. Gets it to Arnold, passes back to McGill. McGill finishes off glass. Gets that lead back to 8, 31-23. Patrick Henry with 3:12 left in the third quarter. Bears need to find a way to get some stops and defensive rebounds on this end. Boy, Holloway looked like he might have walked with that. And sure picked it up in the corner, knew he was losing his balance, chucked it off Bryce Welling's shin. Asher Cito will check in for the Bears. Had a really nice game for the JVs tonight. Bryan JVs pulled out a 4-point win after being up by as much as 19 in the first half. PH made a nice run, and the Bryan JVs able to hold on.
I think right now Coach Parker probably looking for anybody to make an outside shot.
He's somebody that can shoot it, and Cito was hot from outside in the JV game. Meanwhile, Calvin Schrader knocks down the three for PH, and he's getting too many uncontested looks at that left point area. Just nobody coming up and even challenging that jump shot. Arnold works off of a screen at the top from Watson. Finds Cito left side to Rhett McGill, back up top to Arnold. He tacks down the right side, tries to runner off glass, no good. And that ball is going to stay here off of Patrick Henry. Max Johnson is checked in for PH. Punches is in also for the Patriots. Bears will inbound right side of the basket. Arnold triggers in up top to Rhett McGill. Hands off to Bryce Welling, and the Bears are into their offense. 34-23, Patrick Henry by 11. Nice find again. Arnold to McGill. And then we're going to get a whistle on the defensive rebound. Going to get a push on Tucker Watson. Yeah. Rhett McGill had the look, partially blocked, I think, by Heber on the recovery.
Yeah, Tucker Watson just got a nice little two-hand push in the small of the back. A lot of times you get away with that. Not that time.
Nope. So like you said, Bears in a dangerous spot right now, down 11. Can't let it get a whole lot worse. And then Tucker Watson's going to pick up another foul. That'll be 3. There's still 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I don't think there's any. If I'm on the Bryan staff, I'm not too worried about getting my big guy out of there. He's the only big guy that we got against this size. You're just going to have to let this go. With down 11, you can't take any chances this late in the third.
Yeah, you start thinking offensive, defensive subs, maybe you get under a minute. But right now, yeah, we have to have him in the game. He's a senior, so you got to just play smart and stay out of foul trouble.
Patrick Henry inbounds. Punches got the open 3. Rebound chased down by Heber. Another long rebound by Patrick Henry. And Rosebrook tried to squeeze one in down to a cutting Johnson on the baseline. Poked out of bounds, I think, by Tucker Watson. And Tucker Watson is going out. Cooper Vollmer, sophomore or freshman, will check in for him. Vollmer's been really good for the JVs also. So he's going to get some minutes here to show what he can do. Corner 3, Rosebrook doesn't get it to go. Rebound backside by Rhett McGill. And the Bears will push across the timeline. Arnold looks to push up. Works in front of the Bryan bench, gets it up top to Hunter Watson. Hunter Watson gets the Bears settled. 1:35 left in the third quarter on the main stop scoreboard. Patrick Henry by 11. Watson comes free for a 3, and he buries it.
Big shot.
And Hunter Watson has been shooting it good off the bench. That's 2 threes for him tonight, 6 points to help lead the way for the Bears. 34-26, lead at 8. Bears need a stop. Deep 3 for Rosebrook. Not a well-advised shot at all on the logo. Rebound to McGill. Arnold pushes to Cito. Cito head and shoulder fake. Hands it back to Arnold. Left side 3 won't go. Saved by McGill. to Hunter Watson. Then Hunter Watson saw Heber coming at him, so he tried to find Cooper Vollmer, who was already ready for the defensive rebound. That ball's just got to go at the rim. Good action by the Bears.
They've been really good on the offensive board tonight, really keeping a lot of balls alive, giving themselves an opportunity. Down by 8, big stop right here for the Bears.
Bears stay in their zone. Rosebrook works off of a screen. Gets it out to Punches back to Rosebrook. Rosebrook to Heber on the baseline, got behind the Bryan defense. Draws some company, shot doesn't go. And that rebound, we're gonna call that out of bounds off Rhett McGill. Him and Heber were battling for that. PH will inbound underneath their basket. Look for the lob for Heber, not able to get it up top to Schrader, to Punches. We got Johnson trapped on the baseline. Rosebrook into Heber, draws company again. Punches left side, 3 is short. Bears not able to gather the long rebound, but Hunter Watson comes out with it. And he's getting, Tristan Rosebrook getting just a little bit handsy in the backcourt there. Gets whistled for the foul. 17 seconds left. Bears got to find a way to find the bottom of the net. 8-point lead, cut this to 5 or 6 would be fantastic going into the fourth quarter. Just the first foul on Rosebrook. 2 team fouls for both teams here. Not been a lot of whistles.
The basket here would be huge for the Bears to go in down the third, only down 6.
Arnold works off of a screen by McGill. Gets a shot for Asher Cito. No good off back of the iron. Rebound down to Punches. Heber, 3/4 court shot is no good. So the third quarter will end that way. 34-26. Patrick Henry with an 8-point lead. Bears need to come out, try to find a way to keep this close. We'll be right back on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
All right, back at Bryan High School, getting ready to start fourth quarter action here. Both teams are back on the floor. PH inbounds to Punches to Rosebrook and back. Bears stay in their zone. Watson, Welling, Vollmer, Cito, and McGill on the floor for the Bears. Mac Heber down low, bodied up by Coop Vollmer, throws it away to Rhett McGill. Hunter Watson, crossover dribble in the paint, he gets fouled. That's going to be a foul on Schrader, so Hunter Watson will go to the Welling Construction free throw line. There have not been a lot of free throws shot in this ball game. 3 fouls now on Schrader.
This will be the 5th free throw of the game. Hey, nice job by Cooper Vollmer down there on Mac Heber. How about that, young man? Come in and play your first meaningful minutes of varsity action. Oh, by the way, guard one of the best players in the area. Good luck. Great job by Cooper Vollmer.
Hunter Watson knocks down his first free throw at the free throw line. Watson comes in averaging 1 point and shooting 38% from the line. He's buried a couple threes, and he's got 7 points now, 8 points. 3 for 3 at the line, I think, or 2 for 2 at the line. So 8 points for Hunter Watson, 6-point lead for Patrick Henry, and the Bears sticking around.
I've heard you say a couple times, if we can get Hunter Watson going, that just makes a big difference for us.
Right elbow jumper, no good from Punches. Rebound down to Welling. And this pass gets knocked out of bounds on the left side. Try to get it to Hunter Watson. See if the young group here for the Bears got a couple of JV guys on the floor. See if a little bit of energy here. Get another bucket and a stop. And get Patrick Henry down a little bit.
There's nothing but sophomores and freshmen out here, if I'm not mistaken. Are they all sophomores?
Sophomores and one freshman now. Watson to Cito, three-pointer, bang! Asher Cedar knocks down the three, and it's a three-point game. Young Bears coming in and giving us a spark right now. Punches on the right side, Rosebrook deep. And we're going to get a whistle on Cito, a little aggressive on the sideline.
Okay.
Yep. Nothing hurt right there. Nothing wrong with playing some physical defense. Rosebrook was tight line in the sideline. Cito was helping him out a little bit. Jake Arnold will check back in, give Bryce Welling a break.
If I'm Patrick Henry, this ball's going one place and one place only. They've just run into a scoring drought and not even gotten great shots.
Bears try to trap. There it is, deep to Heber in the paint. Shuffles his feet, finishes over the top of McGill and Vollmer. Back to 5-point lead. Arnold up to Watson. Back to Watson on the right side to Arnold. Looking at a way to try to get a touchdown here for the freshman, Coop Vollmer. Watson back to Cito. Watson's got it up top now, barking out orders in front of the Bryan bench. Left side to Cito. Watson works off screen from Vollmer. Three rattles in and out. Rebound pulled down by Heber. Nice little set off of the zone action. Watson's been the best shooter from outside tonight, not able to get that one to go down. Bears need to find another stop. Rosebrook left elbow, punches, kick to Rosebrook, took a way too deep three again, missed everything. Heber works up top against Arnold, swings to Schrader. Lefty's three is no good, and then we're going to get an over the back called on Rosebrook. Good position on the backside by Asher Cito, draws that foul. Second foul on Rosebrook and second foul on Patrick Henry. Tucker Watson checks back in for Cooper Vollmer, who gets a good hand. Great minutes from the freshman there. First time on a varsity floor.
Great job by that group at the end of the third quarter to the beginning of the fourth. Just a terrific effort on their part.
Watson to Cito, right side. Back to Watson between his legs. He gathers. Tucker Watson kicks to Rhett McGill. Skip to Cito. Cito tries right baseline. Skip to Arnold. He attacks. Jump shot. No good off back iron. Tried a little two-footed shove shot. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound to Heber again. Heber now tries up top. Works down the left block. All the contact in this game, that was very minimal. Going to be another on Tucker Watson, call for some body. Heber finished off glass, so lead back to 7. Heber goes to the free throw line. He's got 20 of Patrick Henry's 38, and really you've got exactly what you want. Bears just have not scored to keep up with it. 39-31, 5 minutes left in the game. That was Watson's fourth, so Vollmer goes back to the table. He's going to check in for the big man at the next whistle. Handoff from Arnold to Cito. Cito's got to keep shooting. He shouldn't need or want a lot. Arnold dishes to Watson. Can't finish off glass. Ball goes off McGill, out of bounds. Two good looks the last two possessions. Arnold and Watson both got looks in the paint. Couldn't get him to go. That one just a little strong off glass. Tucker Watson will take a break. 4:46 left here in the ball game. PH 8-point lead and happy to walk it up and take off some time. Schrader from punches finds Heber. Heber back to punches, top of the key three, no good. Rebound ripped down by McGill, out to Arnold. Arnold pushes quick. And we're going to get a timeout. Took a little help getting knocked down in the paint there, but we're going to get a 30-second timeout from Coach Parker instead. So Bears retain possession. PH with the lead, 39-31. Bears have gotten a couple good looks the last two trips. They got to find a way to find the bottom of the net.
Yeah, they've gotten great looks. As you said, you told me at the beginning of the game that this is going to be how Patrick Henry scores. I say we take it, like you said, every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I think what I would like to see Bryan do on defense is, when you have a kid like a Mac Heber, and it gets to this point of the game, his teammates are going to want him to make plays. They want him to make plays. So I think you have to force other kids to make plays. So I would not be afraid to double Matt Keeper and make someone else beat you into a close game. And Patrick Henry has taken some shots. They've taken some shots I don't think that they want. And you know what, if you're Coach Heber, at least if I'm Coach Heber, and I'm not trying to say you be selfish in any way, but where's this ball going to go the next 4 minutes? My best player is going to touch it.
Yeah, Rosebrook has shot a couple of threes that I think they're probably going to question when they watch film, out on the letters out there with a lead.
And Punch is the same way. He's taken a bunch of threes tonight.
Arnold defended by Heber out in front of the Bryan bench, gets it to Hunter Watson. Patrick Henry showing a little bit of man-to-man now. Arnold, top of the key three, rattles front iron, back iron, and out. And then we're going to get a foul called on Bryce Welling trying to tie up for a jump ball. Official is going to call the foul on Welling. That'll be his second, and Brian's third. Patrick Henry will bring the ball up. 2 on Welling, 3 on Bryan. 4 minutes left here in the ball game. Still time, but the Bears have got to find a way to score. Yeah. Ice cold from outside for everybody but Hunter Watson, really.
You're crunch time on both ends of the floor right now. You've got to get defensive stops. You've got to convert on the offensive end.
Schrader working the right side up top to Punches. Back to Schrader on the right wing. Finds Heber working down the right side of the lane. Right block. Jump shot. Cooper Vollmer again, nice job bodying up the senior, but the senior gets that one to go. 23 for Heber. 10-point lead for PH. Vollmer goes to work against the senior. Takes a shot, gets it pushed back at him, and then we're going to get a jump ball called on the defensive rebound. Ball will stay here with Bryan. Coach Parker not real happy about the jump ball. Thought there was a little more contact there than that. It's Bryan's ball. They'll have it out of bounds underneath.
I like Cooper Vollmer attacking him, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like him going right at him.
He got it shoved back at him, but he didn't back down. Good job being aggressive. Inbounds pass comes into Miguel deep to half court again. Feels like we're watching Thad Mata inbounds plays again, Coach Meister.
I just had PTSD from that.
Coop Vollmer, there he goes right at the senior, finishes off glass. 2 points for Coop Vollmer, 8-point lead now for Patrick Henry. Bears have coming out a little man-to-man. No, they're still in their zone. Heber working down that left baseline, gets it into the paint. Ball works, finds its way down inside to Shirt, and Shirt finishes off glass, gets the lead back to 10. Bryan quickly the other way. Arnold attacks on the baseline, kicks it out to Watson, passes up to 3. Got a good look from 2 and knocked it down. Good shot, soft touch off the front of the rim. Coach Parker calls another timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll take it here with them on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Be back with the last 2.5.
The historic Bryan Arts and Education building is being renovated for the next generation, transforming it into a welcoming, accessible space where performances and events can be comfortably enjoyed. The $6.2 million project adds lobby and backstage space, new seating, lights and sound system, accessibility, and additional parking. Because here in Bryan, art connects us. Your support, big or small, makes a lasting impact, inspiring generations to come. Donate and learn more at bryanarts.org.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family owned, family focused.
All right, back at Bryan High School, fourth quarter action. 2.5 minutes left on the main stop scoreboard. Patrick Henry with the ball and an 8-point lead. If you're just joining us, Matt Heber has 23 of Patrick Henry's 43. Bears with some pretty good balance, led by Hunter Watson off the bench with 10 points. Had a great night tonight for the Bears. Cooper Vollmer on the floor, freshman post player, helping out. Tucker Watson on the bench with 4 fouls.
PH is going to force Bryan to step out and guard. they're not going to be in any hurry whatsoever.
No, Bears are going to have to defend. I think you're probably going to have to switch somebody else off onto Heber.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for Cooper Vollmer.
Freshman versus senior. The Bears got to find a way to make PH burn clock, put the ball on the floor. They've got one foul to give before PH will be shooting. Heber's got it now. Patrick Henry calls for the clear out. Senior gets into the paint, and he gets the roll off back iron.
Nice patience by Patrick Henry there. Got the mismatch they wanted, got a clear out. Heber finishes strong at the rim.
Arnold works against the PH defense. Hunter Watson had the three. You just got to shoot that one. You don't have to worry about what's open. You got to worry. You're down 10, minute 38 on the clock. You just got to get shots off at this point. Arnold picks up his dribble,
nice
steps
move
through. Can't make the two-footer. Gets a steal. That one he found. Puts it in off glass. Back to an 8-point lead. And we get another timeout here called by Bryan.
Nice heady play by Jake Arnold there. Didn't give up on the play. Got the turnover and the putback. Gets the Bears within 8 with a minute 25 left.
So we got 8-point lead for Patrick Henry. 30-second timeout here. SNS directional boring timeout. Don't see any substitutions for either team. It looks like we're going to have.
To me, this is where you got to go offense, defense. You got to put your 5 best defenders on the floor if you're Bryan. I don't care if they're 5 guards because you simply cannot let a lot of time run off the clock right now. You got to talk about doubling, trapping, forcing them to get the ball up. Because in a minute 25, you needed a minimum 4 possessions.
And with Tucker Watson off the floor, you don't have any Bears in foul trouble. So everybody can foul. You've got 3 fouls basically in the court. You got 3 fouls on the floor. Bryce Welling's the only one with 2. Hunter Watson's got 1. No one else has a foul. You've got to defend tight. You're going to have to foul early in the possession. And hopefully, if you can choose, you don't foul Matt Heber, who's shooting 80% from the line this year.
And this is one where I kind of like to see Cooper Vollmer not in right now defensively. Instead, maybe have a Tucker Miller or an Easton Kerr or somebody out there defensively, because all you're trying to do is foul and get the ball back. You've got timeout if you need to go offense, defense.
Heber brings it up now, hands to Schrader. Back to Heber working against Cooper Vollmer. Cooper Vollmer's trying to stay close enough to get a count. Hand off to Schrader, and then we're going to get a foul there by Bryce Welling on Calvin Schrader. That was the last one the Bears could give. Minute 7 left, 8-point lead. Bears need to foul right away. And I'm like you, I'd like to see Rhett McGill go to Heber. I think that's an easier guard for him. I'd like to see Vollmer go to Shirt. And now we're going to get an ISO. PH brings everybody up top, and they got a one-on-one ISO with Heber.
We need to not guard the ball here on the inbound. Yeah, we put him on a one-on-one spot. Way too easy to get it inbounds.
We need to get the ball out of Heber's hands.
Now foul.
Now we need to foul. PH dribbles away from the fouls. I think the Bears thought they got a couple. But now we're going to get a timeout called by PH. Yep. Don't have any options left now. Bears got a foul to get the ball back, and it can't be Matt Heber. Full timeout by Patrick Henry. Just a reminder, timeouts brought to you by SNS Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or your farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, SNS Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. SNS does it the right way the first time. Call 419-630-0729. The Bears have got to get a foul. If you can't deny and get a turnover, then it's got to be an automatic foul. And I think, like you said, if you don't guard the ball, you run the risk of an inbounds and right back to the inbounder and burn time. But if you can keep the ball out of Matt Heber's hands at least on the inbounds, and you run take a chance somebody else might miss one.
90% of the coaches, they want to guard the inbounder because the philosophy is you make it hard to get it in. I was one of the 10% who said the only guy on the floor who can't catch the ball is the guy taking the ball out of bounds. And that gives me a chance to maybe double the best player, make it go somewhere else, especially in this situation. Like you said, there's one guy on that floor we don't want to shoot free throws right now. So I'm going to do whatever I can and not let him catch it.
All right, so Patrick Henry will have it underneath their basket. 54.3 left in the ball game. Bears come out in man-to-man. Inbounded into Heber, working against Cooper Vollmer.
Go doubling and make him give it up.
Bears run an extra defender at Heber, and then we're going to get a foul called. Just got to find a way to not let Matt Heber get the ball. That's the one guy we don't want shooting free throws. That's a really tough ask for the freshman JV post player to come in and deny him the basketball. So Matt Heber will go to the Welling Construction free throw line to shoot 2. Chance to put Patrick Henry back up by 10. First free throw is long off back iron. So that shows you what we know, Coach Meister. They knew he was going to miss that free throw.
It's the curse of the announcers.
We're doing the best we can. Subs into the ball game. Cito comes in for Welling. And then we get Holloway in for punches on the Patrick Henry side as that second free throw goes. Arnold gets it up quickly. Handoff to Cito. Back to Arnold in the corner. Hoists the three around the rim and no good. And Jake Arnold continues just to have no luck from three. Rebound comes down to Rosebrook, I believe, and he's fouled immediately. So I'm not sure. Scoreboard right. Yeah, there we go. 9-point lead.
9-point lead.
Scoreboard tried. They tried to give that point to us instead of Patrick Henry. It's a good effort.
Kudos to the clock keeper down there.
Clock keeper trying to keep us in it.
Don't know who that is, but
I don't either.
Bring her back for every game, trying to give us points.
See if people are paying attention. As Brian Schurtz, senior, is at the free throw line, knocks down the first free throw. He's got 7. I say, too, if you looked at this and said you were holding Rosebrook to 5, you were happy with what you did here. You let Heber get his. You kept everybody else down for the most part as Schurtz knocks down the second. Gets his total to 8, lead to 11. Arnold works right side, baseline, give to McGill. McGill finishes off glass. Coach Parker wants another timeout here. 22.6 left, lead is 9. Golden Bears are only left for full timeouts. Let's take a quick one here with them. We'll come back for the end of the ball game here at Bryan.
Fallen on hard times? At the Williams County Veteran Service Office, we're here when life gets tough. We provide emergency financial assistance for housing, food, and utilities, plus transportation to VA medical appointments. Whether you need help today or just someone who understands, we're ready to serve. Please reach out to see what we can do for you, because the only veteran we can't assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
All right, back at Bryan High School. Patrick Henry will have the ball underneath the Bryan basket, need to go the length of the floor, but they've got a 9-point lead and probably not enough time for the Bears to pull off the miracle, but they've stayed scrappy. They've kept playing hard. You know you're going to get that with the Bears. They're going to play hard all night long. Right now you've got 4 sophomores and a freshman on the floor against a senior and junior basketball team from Patrick Henry, last year's co-player of the year in the NWOAL, and they got nothing to hang their heads about. As Easton Kerr has checked in to defend Matt Heber. Ball comes into Heber, getting harassed by Kerr, and then finally the foul will be called in the backcourt with 18.8 left. And Heber will go to the free throw line to shoot 2, try to add to his total.
Nice job by Easton Kerr. I mean, he really did a nice job of fouling without much time coming off the clock. Bears got to hope for misses and quick threes.
The first free throw is no good. I think maybe Heber's just so tired. He's got 26 of the 48. As Kerr checks out, Cito checks back in. Bears just need to get it up quickly and hoist a quick 3, make or miss. 3-possession game if it goes. Sorry, now 4-possession game. 10-point lead. Arnold quickly. Handoff to Watson. PH defending the 3-point line. Welling will fire a 3 that hits the top right corner of the scoreboard. And go out of bounds with 7 seconds left. And I imagine Coach Parker will try to defend but not foul.
Yep.
Here trailing by 10 with 7 seconds left. Schrader will inbounds. Gets the ball into Heber. 2 Bears run into each other, McGill and Watson. And the clock will run out. So Patrick Henry, solid second half, running everything through Matt Heber. Still trying to figure themselves out a little bit without the Kriegers, Reed Krieger and TJ Krieger, who they lost in the Napoleon game. They expect to have Reed Krieger back, or hope to have him back, I should say, by the end of the month. Matt Heber does a lot, trying to work hard to do a lot of things for his squad, which he did tonight, rebounding and scoring. 27 points. I don't know individual rebounds, but I'm sure well into the double figures of rebounds. Just too much for the Bears.
Probably a handful of assists as well.
And I think, too, if you look on the other side for the Bears, they come in with 2 players averaging right at 10 points a game, Arnold and Watson. Arnold had 4, and I think Watson had 4.
Yep.
And if your 2 leading scorers are going to be under their average, you lose by 10, that's kind of a tough night. I know shooting woes were tough for Arnold, couldn't hit a lot of open shots, and Watson struggled a little bit with the length inside and a little bit of foul trouble in the second half. But nice job coming off the bench by Hunter Watson to lead the way with 10 points. And Rhett McGill had a nice night around the basket, had 8, and really rebounded the ball well also.
I thought Rhett McGill did a tremendous job on the boards tonight. He's one of those kids that you almost don't notice because he seems so fluid in everything that he does. But I really think he has stepped up his game.
Yeah, and we mentioned it a couple times too. We saw some youth out there on the floor in the second half a couple times when it was sophomores and freshmen. So the JV team has been playing good. Some guys been working hard, and it's tough. We've got 1 junior in the program. You got some seniors got in some foul trouble, and they need some breaks in there too. So it's good to see some young guys get out and perform when they got their opportunities. So we're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. We're going to work on putting some stats together. Come back, talk about the game a little bit. Next broadcast, we'll be right back after this break on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at Bryan High School, the Bears fall tonight in NWOAL action to Patrick Henry, 49-39. Good effort by the Bears tonight, just not enough offense to be able to overcome Mac Heber, the senior returning co-player of the year, Ohio State commit for baseball, gets 27 points, a ton of rebounds, both ends offensively and defensively, and just too much for the Bears to overcome. Tonight's ball game was brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel's Supply Center. Working on some team stats right here individually on the Patrick Henry side of the ledger. As I mentioned, Brian Heber had 27 points, including a 3, 4 of 6 at the free throw line. Brian Shirt, a senior, had 8 points. Calvin Schrader, the lefty guard, had 2 threes and scored 6 points tonight. Tristan Rosebrook, who came in averaging double digits, had really been playing well. He did right about 9 points a game, picking up some slack. Bears did a great job against him. He had 5 points tonight with 1 3. And then the final score for Patrick Henry, Brooks Punches, had a 3-pointer and scored 3 points. On Brian's side of things, Brian was led tonight by Hunter Watson off the bench. Big night, hit a couple of threes, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and had 10 points, his first night in double digits this year. Rhett McGill had 8 points. Bears got 5 points from Tucker Miller, including a 3. And they got 4 from Tucker Watson, 4 from Jake Arnold. They got 5 from Bryce Welling, and got a bucket from Cooper Vollmer. Got some good minutes tonight, the freshman post player who had, I think, 23 or 25 in the JV game, and came in the third and fourth quarter and gave Coach Parker's squad some good minutes in the post playing against the senior Heber. So those were the individual scores. Coach Meister's got some team stats for us.
Yeah, let's start with the Patrick Henry Patriots. They were 14 for 24 from the 2, outstanding. Only 5 for 28 from the 3, 6 for 10 from the free throw line. Maybe a bit of a difference in the game. They got 13 offensive rebounds, 22 defensive rebounds, 7 total turnovers. On the other side of the coin for the Bryan Golden Bears, 12 for 30 from the 2, 4 for 17 from the 3, 3 for 3 from the line. Only got there 3 times. That's something that we're going to talk about, I'm sure. 8 offensive rebounds, 15 defensive rebounds. Bears only turned over 7 times. So if you look at those stats, you combine the rebounds together, Patrick Henry out-rebounded us 35 to 22, and a lot of those came on some second chance points that kind of came back to bite us. But as you know I say, liars figure, figures lie. The only figure that matters is the final score, 39-49, Patrick Henry.
Yeah, and a couple of tough back-to-back weekends for the Bears. Patrick Henry tonight, Van Wert tomorrow. Van Wert, a really good team. We caught that score at the half, tied with Defiance at the half at 20. Good news is you're at home both of these nights this weekend. You got a chance for a shoot-around in the morning, get a chance to play in your gym again. But a tough draw there. Next weekend will be Liberty Center and Fairview, a couple of other really good teams in the area. So as we talked about a little bit in the intro, Bears are getting into a rough stretch of the schedule, where your league games are tough and your Saturdays aren't any breaks. So finding a way to win some games when you have a chance is big, and I really think tonight was one of those nights. They did what I talked about early. They let Heber get his, which he's going to get him anyway, and then they didn't let anybody else hurt him. What hurt was that 4 of 17 from 3, only getting to the free throw line 3 times, and just not finding a way to score the ball enough when they had opportunities to get themselves either back into the tie or a chance even a couple of times to take the lead.
Yeah, well said. And when they got back into the game, I believe cut it to 6 there in the fourth quarter, they had a couple of possessions. They got really good looks. The ball didn't go through the hole, and that is a difficult thing to overcome, especially against a very good team like Patrick Henry. And you talked about the schedule. I mean, it is a murderer's row here the next week or so. But again, with a young team, Coach, I think you have to be happy with the way we've progressed. Just our scrappiness, we're getting good looks. We just got to get past that hump of being able to make baskets, especially the makeable ones. There's nights you're not going to shoot well, but every night there's makeable baskets you got to make. And we had a couple 2, 3, 4 footers tonight that we didn't make. You make 3 or 4 of those, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a different ball game.
Right, yeah, and a couple of those were in stretches there. I think one early in the fourth, we had a little bit of momentum. We had cut it to maybe 5 or 6 at one point.
6 and had the ball.
We got a couple of looks in the lane, and we left 2 shots, 1 short, 1 long. And you got to take advantage when you have opportunities against a good team like Patrick Henry. The Bears just not able to do that. I'd say on the positive side, I've seen just about every junior varsity game, and I think our junior varsity has been winning ball games. They've been playing really well, and you saw a couple guys get rewarded here of late. Asher Cito getting some minutes and knocked down a 3 tonight. Cooper Vollmer had a big night tonight for the JVs. He got rewarded. I think you're going to see that a little bit more. Tyler Tipton, a freshman on the JV, has been playing really well also. So you're at a point in your season now when you're going to get those guys that have been working really hard for the JVs, been playing good, and been having some success, may start to sniff a little bit more varsity time, create some competition at that level. And then also sometimes in basketball you just need a guy who will come out like a Cito and knock that shot. Or Hunter Watson tonight coming off the bench and bury a couple of threes. If the first group's not getting things done, find somebody that can come in and get some shots knocked down and create some energy. And I don't know that you're going to meet a basketball coach who wouldn't enjoy being able to go 8, 9, 10 guys deep and be able to get guys that'll all produce when they're on the floor.
Yeah, I think tonight Coach Parker found out he may be able to go a little bit deeper than what he maybe thought he was going to at the beginning of the year. And I've said this, ever since I coached, and a lot of times people don't like to hear it, but the bottom line is this: when you play varsity basketball, no one, no matter their age, their level, are entitled to playing time. Playing time is earned. And some of those younger kids, quite honestly, they're earning their playing time. It's not been given to them. And so what that does is create a culture and atmosphere of competition. Because if you're one of the guys who maybe didn't play as many minutes tonight, I don't want to hear you complain about it. I want to see you get in the game and do something about it. I want to see you come to practice and do something about it, because your actions will speak so loud I won't hear the words that you're saying. So it really should be a very positive thing, and that we can get deeper into our bench, and we can probably play a little differently if we can play more players.
All right, well, Patrick Henry comes out on top, 49-39 from Bryan tonight. Our next game will be next Friday night back here in Bryan. Liberty Center comes to town. Another strong Henry County basketball team with some good athletes playing good basketball. Things don't get a lot easier for the Bears as they go through this January and February schedule. I want to thank our crew, our director tonight, Colton Sheeline. Running the robotics was Jackson Vashall. Running replay was Owen Sines. Our cameras were run by Gabby Malenga, Nola Odell, and Easton Heater. I want to thank Rick Armentrout back at Q96.5 at the station for helping us out with the radio side. This student broadcast is produced by the Golden Bear Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any duplication or other use of this broadcast, including descriptions or accounts of the game, without the written express consent of Bryan City School District is prohibited. One final time for all of us at the Golden Bear Sports Network with Tim Meister. I'm Bryan Arnold. Again, the final score, Patrick Henry 49, Bryan 39. Have a great night, everybody.